So I'd like to call the February 18th, 2021 school board meeting to order. I have to read this statement. This meeting will be conducted live, but in a virtual format via Zoom technology. As with the previous board meeting, this process is permissible under and consistent with applicable Pennsylvania School Code, Sunshine Act, and the Bristol Borough School District policy provisions. Public access for participation in the meeting can be accomplished per instructions attached. Okay, so let me call the meeting to order. Let's have a salute to the flag, and please remain standing for a moment of silence for the passing of Jennifer Peary, our board secretary's mother, Eleanor Peary. So let's salute the flag and remain standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I don't believe Jen is not with us tonight, Dr. Minetti.
Correct, Mr. Chief, but I could take attendance. I could do all that.
Okay, I was going to ask if you were going to do it or I could do it. Okay, thank you, Chris. Thank you
No
for
problem.
pitching in.
Yep, Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
You're muted, John.
Mr. D'Angelo,
You mute.
I'm here.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Here.
Mr. Parolo, Mr. Parolo. Okay, Mr. Polyafco,
Here.
Mr. Pavlovsky,
Here.
Mr. Rusin,
Here.
Ms. Paglione,
Here.
and Mr. Chicoletti.
Here. Okay, could I have a motion to approve the complete agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Polyafco, second by Mr. Rusin. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Any noes?
Hey, is Big Al on? I didn't hear if he was on or not. Is he there?
I'm not,
He is not on at the moment. Wait a second. I think he just almost made it.
okay.
Wasn't he giving out computer advice a couple minutes ago?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that motion passes. We're going to go over to reports and presentations. Dr. Minetti?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chicoletti. We had a COVID committee meeting earlier this evening, and then we had an executive session with the board to discuss the possibilities of bringing the high school and middle school back 5 days a week. The reason we are considering the high school, middle school, and not the elementary at this point is we want to keep all of the regulations and suggestions by the CDC in our plan. We want to make sure that we're able to maintain those. So at the high school, we did a survey of the parents to see how many parents wanted their kids back hybrid in the third quarter. So we have the numbers of students who would be in every day who are now currently on a hybrid model. We also surveyed the teachers to see if they had any concerns about bringing students back at the high school and the middle school. And we've been working on a plan to ensure that all students in every classroom would still remain 6 feet apart from one another. And we always have a masking order in place, so that wouldn't change. So with all of that, we looked at our plan to bring back the high school, middle school students on a regular basis. We do have a few groups in middle school who could possibly, if everybody is in on any given day, go over the capacity of a few of the classrooms. And for that reason, we have an overspill classroom set up in the library where students would go during just one particular class on a rotating basis. If their numbers were too high and we couldn't socially distance them at 6 feet within the classroom, we have people who would monitor those classrooms. We have headphones for the students if they were in that situation, that they would be able to do the class and still be part of the school. We also looked at the cafeteria and how we would manage the overflow of kids, or the increased numbers of kids. We have cafeteria set up in both the cafeteria and the gym across the hallway, so we can maintain a social distance between students. There is a concern on the end of the board as far as being able to wipe all the surfaces down. And so we are looking now at a plan to ensure we have enough people to wipe down all the surfaces. And Kelly has been working this evening to even put a schedule in place that would allow more time in between lunches. So we'll have all of that worked out and report that back to the board next week. And if all of that is in place and the board is satisfied with changes to the plan, we are planning to bring the students who are right now hybrid back 5 days a week. That would be Monday through Thursday, full day. And Friday would be a half day live and then half day asynchronous like we're doing now, but only they would be live in the morning. We would look for our target date to be March 1st, which is not this coming Monday, but the Monday before. So please keep on our social media. We'll send out a notification and let all the parents know. We'll also put out a one call for that, and have all of our pieces in place. Does the board have any questions or comments on that? Okay. I would also like to thank our maintenance and custodial staff for their hard work in getting everything cleaned up. We've had quite a bit of snow over the past few weeks, and we have a very small staff. They work very, very hard to get everything up and running and get our facilities clean. So I'd like to publicly thank them for all of their hard work. And I also like to thank the borough for helping us by sharing equipment and allowing us to use some of the equipment that they have to clear some of the snow. Even when it's not snowing, just having that extra equipment around to move the snow, the big piles out of the way, so that way when we have another snowstorm, we have places to put it. That relationship with the borough has been very beneficial, and we really appreciate their help in getting that all together. Okay, and that's what I have for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Minetti. Let me just give two quick reports here. The April 8th meeting will be live. The school board will be broadcasting from the Warren Snyder John Girardi Elementary School. We'll be going back to in-person meetings, and we will be limiting the number of people that come in. However, we will be allowing everyone to speak. I'll make sure that there's plenty of time for people to come in. We can only let in so many people into the auditorium. We'll work on those numbers, but everyone will have their say. So April the 8th, I polled the board, and that will be our day to go back. Okay, I have one other thing here, and I'd like to read a letter. I'm not going to read the whole letter. It's rather lengthy. But this letter was from Cheryl Rigby, and it was sent to the school board members. It was, let me just read the first paragraph. It was, "Good day. After weeks of work, we have permission to vaccinate our 1A employees on Tuesday, February 16th. We are only the second school district in Bucks County to be vaccinated. The rest of the districts in Bucks County are waiting for permission from the state to hold vaccine clinics at their school. This is due Largely to the help of Council President Ralph D. Giuseppe, I enlisted Ralph's help after getting nowhere with the phone calls and emails. He advocated on behalf of the district to get all of the people that needed to be vaccinated. Every day he worked on this mission. None of this would have been possible without his intervention. I am eternally grateful to him and happy for our district to have the possibility of returning to normalcy in a safe environment very soon. So we want to thank Mr. Di Giuseppe. He made some calls. I asked Dr. Menini to Mr. Mott to make sure that that our 1A group was vaccinated. Okay, so with that being said, we'll go into public participation. So is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on any items that are on the agenda? Is there anyone from the public? Give it a few seconds in case someone changed their mind. Okay, can we go on to routine monthly business?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve minutes of January 7th, 2021 meeting. Approve the list of bills for February 2021. Approve the treasurer's report for January 2021.
Thank you, Mrs. Paglia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Collin, any questions? All those in favor? I'm sorry, Chris.
I'll take the roll, Mr. Chicolati. I'll take the roll. Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo. You're muted, John. You're muted, John.
Yes.
Frozen.
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Poliafco,
Yes.
Mr. Pawlowski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes,
and Mr. Chicoletti.
Yes, motion carried. New business?
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution of the Articles of Amendment for the Bucks County Technical School Authority. The resolution is attached.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Chris, could you explain what that is or what that's for?
So there's two different types of boards to the tech school. One is where board members, and then there's an authority one made up of 2 members of each county's general population. So what we passed last year was the side of it with the board members, and then this one is for the members of community. And Mr. Truelove can speak additional to that, but that's essentially what it is.
No, that's correct. Mr. McHugh is correct. What it is the authority is the entity that if they have to take on public financing responsibilities, bonds, things like that, the authority is the entity that does that, especially if they want to build, add on to the tech school or anything like that. That's the most important part of the resolution. There's also another part of the resolution to allow the tech school authority to exist for another 50 years. Believe it or not, it's been 50 years since it was established, and it needs just to be extended for another 50 years that in order to be able to maintain its existence and do the kind of work that it does, including the stuff we just talked about. So I know all this and the authority now will be aligned the same way with membership that the regular authority board is. For example, two members from every sending district now, as opposed to what it used to be like. So it'll be just like the authority board as well. So it'll be consistent with that. So it's really just to bring it up with the times, but it's an appropriate thing to do. And all the districts and all the sending districts are being approached with the same request to approve the resolutions that are before you tonight. So,
David, how often are they replaced on the board, and what's the process to replace somebody? Not that I want to. I don't have any
Right.
problem with anybody, but
Well, I think the terms, and Mr. McHugh, tell me if I'm wrong. I think the terms are the same 4 years as they are for, well, I think it's a 4-year term. I think they're appointed. Each sending district appoints the members. So you'll have 2 members that I'm sure you have 2 members already, but you'll have 2 members that you appoint. In fact, I have the paperwork here somewhere. I can take a look. But you do have, and let's see.
Hey, Dave, it's on page Exhibit A2, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
It tells you the terms, right? So each board elects somebody, and ours is Harry Moyer and Elliot Moyer.
Right. Yeah, you have 2 people you've already established. He's going to say you already have those people on there. So, and the terms expire, and they're all staggered terms because it's each district had appointed them at different times. But Mr. Moyer's term expires January of 2023. Mr. Moyer's expires January of 2024. So those are the ones that would be on. And then, as those terms expire, they can either be reappointed if that's the board's desire and the individual's desire, or you appoint somebody else. So,
okay, thank you.
sure.
Okay, Mr. Rusin, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Mr. Cullen? You're muted, Steve.
So, sorry. Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus?
Yes.
Mr. Parolo?
Yes.
Mr. Polyafco?
Yes.
Mr. Poblaski?
Yes.
Mr. Rusin?
Yes.
Ms. Paglione?
Yes.
And Mr. Chicoletti?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item B.
Mr. President, approve the 2021-2022 Bucks County Intermediate Unit Programs and Services and Instructional Materials and Research Budget in the amount of $2,171,414. Bristol Borough share is $13,335, and it's a decrease of $385. The summary is attached.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So real quick, just to let you guys know, this budget consists of direct curriculum, instruction, assessment, staff development, comprehensive planning, school improvement, instructional materials, research, and instructional technology services to the Bucks County school districts.
Any questions?
Mr. Cullen?
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus?
Yes.
Mr. Parolo?
Yes.
Mr. Polyafco?
Yes.
Mr. Poblaski?
Yes.
Mr. Rusin?
Yes.
Ms. Paglione?
Yes.
And Mr. Chicoletti?
Yes. Item C.
Mr. President, adopt the school calendar for the 2021-2022 school year, and the calendar is attached.
I have a second.
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions?
Will this calendar have to be revamped because of the election and using the school at Warren Snyder?
That's for next year.
Oh, that's for now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Cullen?
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus?
Yes.
Mr. Parolo?
Yes.
Mr. Polyafco?
Yes.
Mr. Poblaski?
Yes.
Mr. Rusin?
Yes.
Ms. Paglione?
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti?
Yes. Item D.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve the proposal of ground maintenance service to Johnson Lawn Care in the amount of $27,480. Effective March 2021, and to conclude no earlier than February 2022. Proposal is attached.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen, questions?
Just to summarize the bidding, there was, the district received 3 bids. And Johnson Lawn Care was the lowest at $27,480. The contract for 1 year that can continually be renewed up until 3 years, and then we will bid it out again.
Okay, good job, Chris. I know you worked hard on that. Thank you.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes, could I just ask one question, Chris? I'm sorry. This looks like a local guy, right? He's from Bristol?
correct. Yeah,
That's,
we had about 10 inquiries and about three official bids.
okay, great. My vote is yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Palafko.
Just one question. Would it be smart on our part to inquire if this person would be interested in or someone else for snow removal? Is something we want to consider for the future?
I think we're okay. I think we're okay with snow removal. We'll be getting a plow and a salter.
Could be a cost savings, but okay, let's go. I vote yes.
Mr. Pawlowski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
and Mr. Chicoletti.
Yes. Okay, item under personnel, item A.
Mr. President, approve the appointment of Marie Colella as van driver at the rate of $14.20 per hour, no benefits as per the negotiated agreement for the 2020-2021 school year.
Second.
Mr. Collin, any questions? Chris?
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Polyafco,
Yes.
Mr. Pawlowski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
Yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Item B.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the appointment of Joshua Eckert as a day-to-day substitute, $105 per day. After 20 days, $115 per day, no benefits as per the negotiated agreement for the 2020-2021 school year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? And we're, just a quick note, we're always looking for subs, correct? Dr. Minetti?
You're,
That's correct.
Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
Mr. Cullen,
Yes.
Mr. D'Angelo,
Yes.
Mr. DeMarcus,
Yes.
Mr. Parolo,
Yes.
Mr. Polyafco,
Yes.
Mr. Pawlowski,
Yes.
Mr. Rusin,
yes.
Ms. Paglione,
Yes.
and Mr. Chicoletti.
Yes. Okay, information, the next board meeting is scheduled for March 4th. That will be virtual. Bucks County Intermediate Representative, Mary Agnes DeChico. Mary Agnes, are you with us? Okay, no problem. I'm going to ask again for public participation. Anyone from the public have anything to speak about? Anyone at all? Okay, let me go around the horn. Mr. DeMarcus, any comments?
Nothing for me tonight, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. DeMarcus. Mrs. Paglione?
Yes, I just like to make a suggestion as to hire 2 permanent subs in the elementary school and 2 permanent subs in the high school so that, we have them come in every day because we're so short of the substitutes.
Well, I think that's a great idea. As soon as we find the personnel, we could do that. How does the board feel about that?
Well, we talked about that. I'm sorry. We talked about that a while back, even when we,
Yes.
as far back, and we changed the actual pay per day.
Yeah,
So
you're
we
right.
could attract some people. I don't understand, if there was no interest or, maybe, I don't know what it is, but we talked about this quite a while ago, knowing that we had this issue, and that's why we even increased the daily pay.
You're
I'm all for
absolutely
it.
right, Jeff. Mhm. So maybe we could put an advertisement out there.
Excuse me.
I'll second that.
We just hired a guy tonight. I mean, we could just call him in every day until our next meeting. And if it turns out that he's our candidate, then hire him for the full year. Right. I mean, I don't think the problem is that we haven't advertised or talked about it. The thing is, we just can't get anybody. So
there's a shortage of candidates all over for jobs.
So we've hired Joshua Eckert tonight. Tell him, right? Just tell him to come in every day. And at our next meeting, we can formalize it.
Want to talk about that?
Okay, so is that it, Mrs. Paglione?
Yes, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Polyafco?
I just would hope to pass my condolences on to Jennifer and the rest of her family on the loss of her mom. That's it. Thank you.
Not hearing you again, Dave.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay. No, now that time a message.
You're blanked out again, Dave.
All right, I'll share while he's paused for the 20th time tonight. So I got to see firsthand the maintenance crew clearing the snow tonight because we went sledding, and then I took my son for a walk behind my house, and I seen Dennis in the machine on the path. Then you had all the guys at Snyder when I went sledding today. So just seeing all those guys, it's a lot of work, and it's very, very appreciative. There's some long hours, so it's not easy.
Okay, so anything else, Mr. Poplawski?
No, and then just another shout out like I do each time. I think the 21st Century, I went to their meeting tonight for the after school programs. They continue to do a great job. It's not easy virtually. I have all three of my kids are involved in it, and they look forward to it every night.
Thanks for attending that meeting. Do you have anything else?
That's it, sir.
Okay, Mr. D'Angelo?
Yeah, I just have one thing. I just wanted to, let everyone know that in addition to what we've done, giving vaccines, locally, at the IU last week, they kind of partnered with the county and served as a site, and they gave almost 2,000, actually 1,900 people in the 1A kind of category. First responders and everybody in that category got their first of the Pfizer vaccination, and they really did a nice job. Had it all set up, and I'm sure they're going to be doing it again. So that's just another thing that RIU is trying to help, doing their small part at trying to get enough people vaccinated so we can all get back. And that's it.
Hey, John, I think the IU is now going to move their vaccination place to the Bucks County Community College. I think they're moving to the colleges now, the IU.
Actually, they were doing it at up in Doylestown and at the Epstein Center, right up here on Route 413. So you're right. And hopefully, here's the issue. They did it for a week and did 1,900 people, and they had to stop. Why? They don't have the vaccines. so the state really gets the vaccines and how they distribute them. So we're hoping that once the supply becomes more plentiful, that we can use the IU and the community college for a center for all of our teachers and everybody we need to get vaccinated, and everybody even in Bristol. So thanks.
Okay, Mr. Rusin.
Yeah, I want to offer my condolences to Jen and her family also. But I also wanted to make mention to the general public here that we're in need of custodial people to work with George Gatto to sanitize desks and everything. If anybody from the general public is interested, please get a hold of Rose. Thank you.
Mr. Parola.
Yeah, I was just going to follow up with what John said, which is good. If there's anybody out there that wants to work, to get a hold of George. And I just want to congratulate Brian Johnson on winning the bid, and pretty much it.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes, I'd just like to, again, my condolences to Jennifer and her family for the loss of their mother. And that's all I really have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Minetti, going back to the issue here, I want to narrow this down because of the, I shouldn't say complaints with the computer. I want to poll out to all the teachers, basically asking that if there are any issues during the day when they're teaching with the computer, I would like them polled on that, all of the teachers. And then could you have those results for Wednesday for Friday's meeting?
Sure.
And can you forward that email that you send them to me and the rest of the board members? And I'll talk to you tomorrow on the other issue. I would like to also offer my condolences to Jen. And I know that our buildings and grounds have been dealing with a rough 2 weeks here, but I can assure you, I see them out, cleaning up their taxed. But George has done a good job with removing the snow and the ice, and we're not out of this yet. So good job there. Okay, so with no further business, could I ask for a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
Mr. Poliafico, could I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Okay, good night, everyone.